Hey, what's up, guys? Dan the Movie Man here, and today is kind of a different video. I'm not reviewing something, but I'm actually announcing something I'm going to be reviewing. So this this is kind of my introduction to a series I'm going to start called Discovering Kurosawa. For you, those of you who don't know, Akira Kurosawa is one of the most famous directors in Japan, in the history of Japan, if not the most famous director in the history of Japan. And I've never seen a single Akira Kurosawa film. He's done tons and tons and tons of movies. He's been honored with multiple awards throughout his lifetime. He was an astounding director and a huge influence into everything that we know in film. Not only did Seven Samurai inspire things like Magnificent Seven, but a lot of his work with the samurai genre influenced quite possibly the biggest juggernaut in cinematic history, Star Wars. And so I feel like when you love film, it's very important to look at all different kinds of film, whether that be modern classics, and especially foreign. Not every movie is made in America, and that's something that is very, very important to realize. There are tons of foreign films made every single year, and I think by discovering Kurosawa, I'm going to be discovering a ton of new movies that I've just never seen before, both foreign and classics. And I haven't really talked about a lot of films outside the modern day besides, I think, Psycho. Psycho is probably the oldest film I've talked about, and I didn't even really do a review of Psycho. It was in my top 10 horror movies. So I think it's important that I broaden that and I show that film is much bigger than just what's going on now or what was going on 20 years ago. Film goes back all the way to the early 1900s. We have a lot of stuff to cover. I'll never be able to cover it all. That's how much film there is. And so I think it's important that I go back and I look at one of the most influential directors in the history of cinema. I mean, he's influenced so many people, from George Lucas to Steven Spielberg. I mean, two of the biggest juggernauts in American cinema. So, um, I felt that it was appropriate that I finally go back and start reviewing that kind of content. And so that's what this series is going to be. It's going to be Discovering Kurosawa. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch a bunch of Akira Kurosawa films, and I'm going to release reviews of them. I don't know if I'm going to watch every single one because he made so many movies, but I'm definitely going to sit down and watch his most popular ones. You will see. I will be doing Seven Samurai. I will be doing Yojimbo. I will be doing all of those classic films. I can't remember the names of a lot of them off the top of my head. Like I said, I've never seen them, but I am going to sit down and watch them. Um, it means a lot that to film, and I feel like if I'm sit here and call myself a film lover, a man who, is in love with this thing. I am in love with cinema. I am in love with film. It is a passion of mine. I feel that not only is it necessary, but it's needed that I sit down and I discover stuff like this because film is so much more broad. And also, I will go ahead and say I will be reviewing other classics as well outside of just Akira Kurosawa. I know uh, film is a lot broader than what I've put on this channel. I'm gonna get some Hitchcock in there. Don't worry. I've been asked that a couple of times actually. When are you gonna do some Hitchcock? Because outside of talking about Psycho, I haven't really done much in Hitchcock. Um, in the last years, when I've really dived into Alfred Hitchcock, and he's become one of my favorite directors. Um, Psycho is one of my favorite horror movies. Rear Window is one of the best thrillers I've ever seen. North by Northwest is fantastic. Rope, so suspenseful. I mean, there's so many that I have to get through, but you'll be seeing a lot of Hitchcock. You'll also be seeing a lot of horror. I've been on a real horror kick lately, and a lot of classic horror too. You're gonna get some, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, both the original and the remake. You're gonna be getting some The Fly. I mean, I got some stuff up my sleeve. I want to talk about The Thing from Another World. So we'll be getting into some older stuff. I'm really excited about what's coming up on the channel, especially this Discovering Kurosawa. And I will say that the first episode of Discovering Kurosawa will air next week. I will be putting that up, and it will be Seven Samurai. Now, I've heard a lot about Seven Samurai. I think everybody has, whether they've seen it or not. The Magnificent Seven, of course, is directly inspired by this. I love the Magnificent Seven, both the remake and the original. I think the biggest difference between these movies is going to be the length, because Seven Samurai is 3.5 hours long, and I don't know if it's action packed. I don't know if it's a slow burn. We're gonna see, but I'm gonna sit down and watch it, and I think it's gonna be good. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I've never met a person who's seen Seven Samurai and did not like it, so I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna enjoy this. Um, so I'm really looking forward to it, and you guys should really stay tuned next week for when I review the Seven Samurai. Also, since I'm not really familiar with all of this, I'm gonna find a list of a bunch of his movies, and I'm gonna go through them, and I'm gonna watch them based on what people think. I want you guys to know, if you guys have seen any Akira Kurosawa films, what film should I do? Tell me. And if you haven't, just join along from the ride. Maybe by watching me, you discover a film that ends up becoming one of your favorites. I'm really hoping that I can not just broaden my library of films and my film knowledge, but introduce you guys to maybe something that you haven't seen before. So that's what I really want to do with this series, and I really just want to put it out there that there are so much more films out there than just modern American cinema, and that we need to explore that as film fans and film lovers. So keep your eyes out for that, because Discovering Kurosawa is coming soon. So thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down below what you think about Akira Kurosawa and what the series is going to be like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.